we are leaving Bryce Canyon, sad, but we are headed to Arches and Canyonlands National Park. We are parked at the Slickrock RV Park in Moab, which is just a few miles from Arches and a few more miles from Canyonlands. And we looked at the weather and it looks like rain tomorrow. Boo. So we decided that at 5 p.m., which it is right now, we're going to go and see if we can check out a little bit of Arches today in case it's raining all day tomorrow and we don't really get to see that much. So we're going to go check out the Delicate Arch. We found parking. I'm walking up a hill for the first time since my Achilles injury came to fruition. And I'm taking the teeniest, tiniest steps ever against all instincts to take really big steps and get the hill over with. But so far, so good.
When we reached the top of this hill, or cliff or mountain, not really sure which category it falls into, apparently it is very, very windy. Wind has definitely picked up. Nothing like walking on a bit of a cliff edge with a massive gust of wind. In Abby's words, this better be really cool. So we just went and took pictures. This is the Delicate Arch, by the way. As you can tell, it's super windy. And as you might imagine, the rock arch actually functions like a funnel, and it is extremely windy. And as much as I would love to get some GoPro footage in there, I don't want to fall off, but this is the Delicate Arch. It's super cool. We are walking back to the car, or the RV, Ringo.
You have to yell, it won't be able to
We're walking back to Ringo.
Ringo, come get us!
The wind is relentless. We're going to crush ourselves some microwave Indian food. And it is going to be awesome.
The beauty of like having an RV means your life is with you all the time.
Our entire kitchen is here. Our bed is here. If they'd let us sleep here, we probably
totally would. Actually, I
but
definitely would.
That's frowned upon.
It's a no-no. But so far, Arches, thumbs up. Good morning! The sun hasn't risen. It's super early, and we are headed to the trailhead that we're gonna hike today. And we're like not even ready. So Arches has pretty limited oversized parking, but we're just gonna go park so that we have a spot, and then we're just gonna make our breakfast at the trail and eat before we go and finish getting ready. Okay, so you don't have to get here at sunrise. We are starting out headed down the double O Arch, which is a trail. It's at the end of this trail.
Which is on the Devil's Garden Trail.
Correct. We're gonna see several arches on this trail. It's an out and back, or you can make it a loop if you go on a primitive trail, which we're probably not gonna do.
made it to Double O Arch.
And it's called that because there's two O's
Stacked on top of each other. It's almost like there's double.
This is really pretty. The trail is super fun. This arch is really gorgeous, and we are gonna go on to the Dark Angel Arch, another 0.4 miles away. And then we're gonna turn around and head back along this awesome, fun trail. All right, it appears that that is Dark Angel. There's no sign, and it's not an arch. It's just a really tall rock. Yeah.
We're walking along this ridge, and it is incredible. And you got a view of the mountains, and a nice drop on either side, and it's very windy, so don't look down.
On our way back from the Double O Arch, we stopped by 3 additional arches. The Partition Arch, the Navajo Arch, and last but certainly not least, the Pine Tree Arch.
We are nearing the end of the Double O Arch Trail, otherwise known as the Primitive Trail. It's kind of a loop if you so desire, and it is absolutely gorgeous out. We saw several really cool arches, and this pretty much is about to wrap up our time in arches. Our next stop's actually going to be Canyonlands, which is right around the corner, but after basically 2 days in arches, it was really neat. They have a few hikes, not as many as some of the other parks we've been to, but this definitely has some incredible scenery that just makes you stop and be like, wow, how on earth did that formation occur? So if you ever get the chance, encourage you to come to Arches. Relative to the other parks, it's definitely up there.
Next stop, Canyonlands. Good morning! We are up bright and early again to head for our first day at Canyonlands National Park. The light just went out.
Spooky.
So we have to get here a little bit early, but that's okay because we have our coffee, we're gonna park, we're gonna make some breakfast, and we are gonna go on a few little baby hikes just to see some cool pieces of Canyonlands. All right. Oh, shoot. We are at the Mesa Arch. This place was honestly packed for sunrise. We watched the sunrise from the road. The parking lot is starting to clear out. We got the last oversized parking space. We're gonna go check out this arch. It's super close and it should be really pretty. This place is so cool.
It appears we are late to the party.
Tripod.
I've never seen so many tripods in one place.
It's really pretty. It's a really pretty arch. I can see why you would want to see the sunrise through this. It's absolutely gorgeous, but
it is well positioned for the sunrise. There is no doubt about that, but everyone else also knows that.
We are moving on to the Upheaval Dome, assuming we can get a spot in the parking lot. It's supposed to be really cool to stare at, so we're gonna go stare at it. We are at the second overlook for Upheaval Dome, and it's a lot cooler than the first overlook because you can actually see it. There's not a lot of people here.
If
Still pretty
you're
early.
scared of heights, you shouldn't be
Don't do
here.
it.
This edge is makes you a little woozy.
Don't do it in the rain either because you might just slide right off.
Yeah.
This is cool. It's a nice stop. It's 1.8 miles round trip to come to the second overlook. It's also the same trailhead as this kind of loop around the canyon called the Syncline Loop, and we did have RV parking. There's about 5 to 8 spots where you could park a short
by cars.
They would totally be taken by cars.
It's a small parking lot.
It's a small parking lot, so if you want to come and you're driving your RV, you're gonna need to do it early. but not nearly as crowded as Mesa Arch because this isn't a sunrise spot. So we're gonna hike it back to the RV and move on to our next stop along the way. Our next stop in Canyonlands is Aztec Butte.
It is a very small parking lot. We got one of the 2 oversized spots available. There's ancient Puebloan granaries and apparently a vista with spectacular views. We are on top of the Aztec Butte.
It is so cool.
The views are indeed spectacular.
Aztec Butte was our favorite so far. It's absolutely beautiful. Very not crowded. There was like no one there. Awesome stop. We're gonna go check out Grandview Point because these views are epic.
And because they had 3 reserved RV parking only spots.
What up? This point was more beautiful than we knew or thought it would be. So we're going to call it a day right here because I don't think it gets better than this view. This is exceptional. Good morning! We are in the Needles district of Canyonlands today.
Day 2 of Canyonlands.
Yay! We're gonna do the Slickrock Trail right now. Probably hop into a couple of other overlooks and call it a day. This is the Cave Spring Trail. It's a loop trail, it's 0.6 miles, super easy. We had to go down a dirt road to get here. Nothing like Hole in the Rock Road. And really, it's just gorgeous out here. So this wraps up our Canyonlands experience in the Needles district. Today was about 5-ish hours of activity. As always, we tend to take our time taking the views. If you're not doing one of these incredible long hikes, which are about 10 miles at a minimum, it's not really a full day experience in the Needles. So if you want to just do kind of what we did, short hike, the longest hike was that first one at Slickrock. That was about 2.5 mile loop. Then it's really more of a half day experience here in the Needles. This wraps up our time in Arches and Canyonlands National Parks, and we really did have a blast. These parks, while super close together, are very different and exceptionally beautiful, and we highly recommend visiting both?
We stayed at the Slickrock RV campground in Moab. Now, Moab was a little bit different than some of the other towns that we've stayed in. One, it was very expensive, so be prepared. There is a lot more to do. There's a number of cute shops, grocery stores, etc. It's a bustling little town. It's also a mecca, as we come to find out, for off-roading, which we weren't equipped, but if we were to go back, it definitely seems like that would be something that was super cool to do. And it was one of the more expensive parks we've stayed at, and while we were there, they were actually undergoing construction. So mixed bag in terms of our experience there.
Slickrock is really nice. There was some really fun people there. It's definitely crowded, and we got an impeccable view right behind where our RV was parked, so we could sit on the side of our RV and like turn, and there was this like mountains. Mountains and red cliff face. However, they are in the process of building little tiny homes they're going to charge like $300 a night for, that are going to completely block that view from the RVs. So, something to note, that there was a really good view, but now that they're going to build those, there won't be once those go up.
That being said, Moab, expensive. However, again,
it's where you kind of
you gotta plan ahead too. I mean, every place that we drove by had no vacancy.
If you're willing to drive after your from your boondock spot a pretty far distance, which you kind of have to if you stay in Moab anyways, then just go boondock, honestly.
Yeah.
You'd probably be fine. Really, it's prettier to boondock anyways. So either way, we had a really wonderful experience, and I think we're gonna come back at least for Canyonlands, because we didn't get to do some of the
there were some really neat cool hikes. Abby was still nursing her ankle.
We are headed to Capitol Reef, which is the least popular, and we're super pumped, and you are gonna want to see this one, trust us. So hit the subscribe button, and you can make sure that the minute that video comes out, you can watch it. We will see you in Capitol Reef.